Here's a compelling theory. The skepticism around the members-only guy as the shooter hinges on the question of how he could have known Tony's location at the restaurant. However, if we scrutinize Carmela's actions leading up to that moment, a different narrative unfolds. When Carmela informs AJ about their dinner plans, she casually mentions they're going out to eat. Later, when Tony inquires about the dinner agenda, she hints at Holston's, suggesting it was a collective decision rather than her individual choice. In the same scene, an interesting subplot emerges. Carmela perusing beach houses. While ostensibly for potential real estate ventures, a closer look hints at a deeper motive. The kids are now adults, and Carmela seems poised for a new chapter in her life. It's plausible that she subtly steered Tony into helping her establish a future independent of him. As she meticulously groomed this exit strategy, once she believed she had all the pieces in place, she orchestrated Tony's demise. Even if we set aside the absurdity of this theory, the question remains, why would Carmela want to kill Tony in front of their children? The murder of a father in front of the children would leave a huge trauma in the hearts of the kids, not to mention Anthony Jr., who had already been in a mental institution after a failed suicide. What do you think Anthony Jr. would do after what he saw? Of course he would follow the light at the end of the tunnel. Too bad there's no proper pool nearby. Now that we've established that this is nonsense, I suggest we look at the financial aspect. In other words, would Carmela really get the money if Tony died? Carmela finds herself in a stark predicament with Slava, and the prospect of extracting anything substantial from a Russian gangster seems implausible. While she's privy to the existence of overseas accounts, the notion of Carmela approaching Slava for a payout appears dubious. Even considering Tony's lawyer, Neil Mink, as a potential source, it's a stretch to envision him willingly parting with the entirety of Tony's assets. Any expectation of Tony's remaining crew members delivering cash to Carmela is met with resolute skepticism. The underworld's history is rife with instances where mobsters, despite pledging to support families, fall short in fulfilling these commitments when a member faces demise or incarceration. Tony himself, albeit reluctantly, attended to the widows within his crew, highlighting the rarity of such acts of benevolence in the world of organized crime. Carmela indeed had money, but not enough to support herself, a large mansion, and a suicidal son. I personally believe that Carmela loved Tony, or at the very least loved the life that Tony created for her. Killing Tony was a direct way to start selling Polish sausages paired with Sal's wife, if you know what I mean. For Carmela, it was the equivalent of hell on earth. Wise guys, lend me your ears. I'm now an Audible associate, which means you get a special deal. Sign up with my link and get a free Audible trial, a whole month to binge your favorite books. Think Donnie Brasco, The Godfather, Wise Guy, Casino. All the classics to get you feeling like Tony before a sit-down. And hey, if it's not for you, forget about it. Cancel anytime, no strings attached. Don't miss this chance to turn your downtime into a story straight out of The Sopranos.